So currently now, I had started like my spiritual journey because I always say like I'm good mentally. I'll never be great, but I'm getting better mentally. I'm getting better physically. I need to get my spiritual right. So now I find myself on my spiritual journey, and it's probably been one of the best decisions that I ever made. So like right now, my whole drive is just to share my story. Like I have a gift, and that's my story. So I encourage other people to share that story because what you deal with in life is not for you to just to get through for yourself. It's for you to get through and to help others. And so that's just a little bit about my story and my background.
And you know what? I thank you for sharing that. And as I was listening to you, because you may not know this about me, but I'm an educator as well. So I teach boys between the ages of or grades 9 through 12 as well. And a lot of those young men, um, it sounds like their stories are kind of identical to yours, but they kind of went down a much darker path. You found, some you realized that you was going in the wrong direction, and someone that you seem like someone they could probably identify with. And I bet if they could hear also your story, because I know you talked about being a motivational speaker. I
Mm-hmm.
think it would be awesome for you to talk to a lot of youth, young men, young women too, that are having the same kinds of or had the same kind of issues that you
Oh
talked
yeah,
about.
that's my passion.
Yeah,
That's my.
right.
I worked at residential facilities before, so that was like my first real job working as a juvenile. So I love working with youth. My overall goal is to, open up a youth center because, like you said, it's a lot that dealt with. I almost committed suicide twice, but it's just that spark. So I definitely love working with the youth. Want to help them out as best as I can.
Yeah, and a lot of them, like you said, they compare their lives to somebody else. You know what I mean? And when they do that, it makes it the life that they live or the lifestyle that they live. When they compare it to somebody else's, the other person's might seem a little glamorous. But I always tell kids, I said, you never know what's really going on with somebody. They might seem one way on the outside, but you don't really know what's going on, inside the home or whatever. I said, even though your circumstances might be different, you probably got more love in your house than they have. You know what I mean? So I
Hmm.
just think it's an incredible thing to see, like someone like yourself who just transform your life, and you said it's just like an epiphany at 2 in the morning, like God told you to change your life. So tell us too about, because I know you mentioned Herbalife. So we know that you work for Herbalife, right? And
Yes,
you
ma'am.
coach women. So tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, good. So, it's crazy how I guess how God works, how everything has worked for me for my good. Because, as I mentioned, I was a person that just didn't do right by women.
Right.
Like I said, hurt people, hurt people, hurt people. Being in the world. So from all the women that I kind of hurt, and then when I got into Herbalife, it's been like a vehicle for me. My whole overall goal, like I said, is to help as many people as I possible. Reach their healthy weight goals. But I take it a
Right.
little deeper. I want to reach your mindset, get your spiritual life right. Also help you to make finances as well. So we have group workouts in which within my team, my organization, I'm the only male. So when we do the workouts, I'm leading a whole bunch of women, and I share with them. I say, I'm grateful to be here in front of you guys every time, just because it kind of like holds me accountable. Like I can't go back to being the guy that I used to be, hurting women, and then I'm out here leading a workout with all these women.
Right.
So it's kind of it still amazes me every Saturday when we do our workout. And, you see all the women out there. Now I've learned how to, push them as far as like encouraging words, calling them queens, making sure that they know that they're queens and that, that they have greatness in them. And I tell my friends all the time, I say, I'm going to write that book, Think Like a Man. I feel like I could write that book. A lot of people going to be upset, but don't be surprised when I come out with a book called Think Like a Man, so I can make sure I give all the women the 411 on on what to see and what to look for and what not to look for. So, it's just amazing. I think I love it, just getting those from my clients and just telling me how happy they are about reaching their healthy weight goals and also shifting their mindset.
Right. And like I say, every time I see the videos, I'm like, this guy is really good. I mean, I see you asking questions, encouraging, and I see you highlight when your clients they reach certain milestones in their weight loss journey or whatever it is they're trying to do. Some people are just trying to get healthy, and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool too. So let's talk about your book, your brand new book that was released. It was last month, correct? It was last month.
Yeah, in December 17th.
Okay, so tell us about the book and what's in it and what's it about. Is it poems? Is it your story? Just tell us about the book.
So that book, it took 6 years to get out. So in 2014, I tell people don't pick on me. I just didn't used to watch movies like that. But in 2014, I saw the movie Poetic Justice for the first time. During that time frame, my college roommate and I, it was kind of bumping heads, but we were friends, been friends for a while. So, I had made the decision that, I was going to move out. Didn't know where I was going to move to. So I finally ended up living in one of my other friends' apartment. He let me stay there, let me live in his dining room. And I slept on a futon. So it was during that time, very uncomfortable living in someone else's house, especially their dining room. Can't go to sleep when you want to go to sleep and things of that nature. So I watched the movie Poetic Justice, and Janet Jackson was writing poems, and I just kind of copied it. I was like, let me write something. So I just wrote something, and then from there it just opened a whole creative side that I didn't know that was inside of me. So it went from writing one poem a day, and I call them lyrics. I call them lyrics because lyrics sound a little more masculine than poems. So I went from writing one a day and just sending them to people for motivational messages. Then next thing you know, I found myself just writing all times throughout the day. I could be taking a shower and hop out the shower real quick and write, or I could be driving and have to pull over and write, or walking and something just come in my head. And I wrote all my poems in my notes on my phone. And so, everybody was like, you need to write a book, you need to write a book, you need to write a book. And I was like, I'm not going to write no book. And then fast forward 5 years later, I go to in that the 4-year mark. I think my phone did whatever my phone did, but it made me lose all my poems. And I cried, and I cried, and I cried. And then I just sat down, and I just kind of remembered some words or keywords from as many poems as I could. And thank God it got backed up to my Gmail. So I was able to recover probably 96 of probably 120 poems that I wrote. But I knew the ones I couldn't find, so I kind of rewrote them. And, at the 5-year mark, I was like, okay, my book going to come out this year because my favorite rapper is Lil Wayne, and he was coming out with his album after 5-year wait. And I was like, I'm going to do my book. But, I missed that mark, and then I said, well, it got to come out. It got to come out. My book's dedicated to my son, my grandparents. My grandmother died in January of 2016. My grandfather died of May 2016, actually 157 days apart. So the title Nothing But the Rent came from my granddad. Every time I said, what's up, granddaddy, he would say nothing but the rent. So that was where the title comes from. But it was between that title and the other title was going to be Waiting on You, because December 17th of 2015, my grandmother was very sick, And she was in the hospital, was on FaceTime, and the last words she said to me was, "I'll be waiting on you." So
Right.
it was gonna be waiting on you or nothing but the rent. So like my family was like, nothing but the rent. Probably better just waiting on you. Kind of makes you a little sad. Think about like why I wrote it, where the title
Right.
came from. And so like I was very determined, and I was like, man, the book got to come out this year, last year, 2020. And I was like, the title is for my grandfather. And I said it had to come out December 17th because that's my grandmother's birthday.
Right.
And I kind of fell off a little bit, but then I listened to this Eric Thomas motivational video, and he was like, your gift will make room for you. And he talked about how when he wrote a book, and that book ended up paying for like his mortgage and things of that nature. I was like, well, the book got to come out. So wrote the book. I just really took all the poems I had, sent it to the publisher. She did her thing. So within it is just a whole bunch of the poems that I wrote, which is part A. At the end of it, kind of explains what I was thinking, what made me write it, and things of that nature. So some of them I'm happy, mad, depressed, motivated. Some of them are like short little one words, just anything. So it's just a whole variety of things. Some of them I wrote like letters to my son before he was even born. And so it's just all a collaboration of a collection of everything that I wrote. And I just put it into a book. And the book cover is my hands holding the phone because I wrote all my poems in my phone. So like that's my hands in a cartoon form, and that's where the phone comes from. So that's just a little bit about it.
Yeah, I really like the book cover. I remember watching a video and you were explaining the cover, and I thought that was a real cool idea. I know a lot of authors when they're looking for covers, they can't think of one, but that was really original, and I know we talked right before we actually came on air, and I know you said you're working on. Well, before we talk about another book, where can can we order or listeners order your current book? Do you have a website and all that kind of stuff? And if you do, please let us know where we can get it and where we can find you, your other products, Herbalife, and the book. Let us know about all that too, where we can get the product and the book.
Well, my book can be found on Amazon. So if you go on Amazon and you search "Nothing But the Rent" by Devonta Bess, it'll pop up. So it definitely can be found on Amazon. Excuse me. It's going to be found on Amazon. And I have a link if you follow me on Facebook. My name is Devonta Bess, Devonte Marquise, because it's my whole name, Devonta Marquise Bess. Marquise is Marquise. My last name, Bess, Bess. And in my bio on Facebook, I have the link where you can go purchase the book. It will be soon out on Google Play, iBooks. So right now it's on Amazon. So you go in there, search "Nothing But the Rent" by Devonta Bess. It can be found there. And then for like my services, I have a link in my Instagram account. Well, Instagram is at D_B3 then SS. And I have like a quick survey that you could fill out to kind of map out what your goals are. Or if you just like to shoot me an email at Vontae, VONTE, number 22, then Bess, BESS at gmail.com. Shoot me an email. We'll go from there.
And also, I will post all Devontae's information on my page too. So if they're on there, they can also find it there as well, and just click on the link. I'll just copy and paste from yours and put it over there too, so they can find that. Okay, and then book number 2. So we're gonna be looking for book number 2 here soon, or you working on it right now?
Yeah, I'll say by the end of the year. Well, it's probably sooner that as soon as I fill up all the pages in my book that I'm kind of taking notes in, then it'll be ready to go. But my favorite number is 3, just because my fraternity number I was a 3. this Trey, and so I got to write at least 3 books, but I'm not going to put no cap on as many books as I can